need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
All right, Rebecca is writing and she says, "Hi, Betsy. I just discovered your podcast. I'm trying to learn about interior design to improve my own home and finding your podcast an incredible education. I moved into my house a year ago. I will call it the Home Depot Special. It has an open concept main floor with both north and south facing windows. The kitchen cabinets are a creamy white. There is one wall of exposed red brick, which I love. I want to warm up the main floor and make it feel more cozy and bright. I'm interested in changing the kitchen cabinetry handles, the faucet, and the island light fixture. Handles and the light fixture are currently shiny chrome. Faucet is brushed nickel. As well as the walls, I want to paint for the whole space. Do you have advice on the finish of metals that I should choose for these changes and for the wall color? I hate gray, so please not that. I do not have a clearly defined style yet, but I am working on it. Something transitional with quirky art. Pics below. I hope to keep the cabinets and countertop and floor, but I am happy to change the backsplash. Thank you so much." Well, thank you, Rebecca, for finding our podcast. Please spread the word. Guys, if you found our podcast and you're enjoying it, please tell your friends, your family, share it on your social media channels. It is the very best way for us to grow and for us to keep on keeping on, because I'm at year 7.5 right now. 7.5 of podcasting and year 17 of being in the design business. So I have a lot of expertise to share, and I would love to keep sharing with you and growing with you. So let's do it. Let's do it. Tell Canada that they should listen up. All right, let's look at these pictures, Rebecca, and let's take a deep dive. So yes, I definitely see the creamy cabinets. I definitely see the handles that are currently the brushed silver and that are very simplistic. You know, they're just basically a kind of C shape with some kind of rounded edges, and they're that brushed silver. Now, personally, I mean, this is all personal. I like to do, if I'm going with silver in the kitchen, I typically like to do a brushed silver. The reason is because oftentimes there's stainless steel with the appliances and it will really go nicely with that finish. The other reason is because in kitchens, there's a lot of fingerprints, right? I'm constantly pulling on the cabinet pulls. I'm constantly using the faucet, and I don't want to see those fingerprints. Those are going to give me agita, right? Those are going to stress me out. So I think the brushed metal finish is completely appropriate for kitchen. Do I feel like it needs to be consistent between the cabinet hardware, the faucets and fixtures, and the lights? The ceiling fixtures or pendants? No. Typically, I think I do keep it relatively consistent. Definitely the things I'm touching in a kitchen, I like to keep brushed, but I would be okay if you did chrome or polished pendants. It would still look great as long as you stay in that cool family of the silver metals. Now, in a bathroom, I feel very differently. And you're like, "Betsy, you know, you're still pulling on the medicine cabinet. You're still turning the faucet." For some reason, I don't prefer brushed in a bathroom. And this is truly personal preference. There is no rule there. I just love chrome in a bathroom. And you know what I think it is? In a bathroom, the number one thing that is important is not that the bathroom is stylish, not that it's particularly inviting, it's that it feels clean. And to me, that shiny sparkle of chrome or polished silver just exudes a cleanliness. That's my preference on finish, but like I said, no hard and fast rules there. Now, let's talk about the other things that you had mentioned. You were talking about maybe wanting a backsplash. Now, I think it's very dangerous. I'm going to put this out there, Rebecca, that you are making design choices without starting with the two-word phrase. I would not be choosing new cabinet hardware. I would not be choosing a backsplash until I had honed in on my two-word phrase, because I want to make sure that everything is cohesive. And these structural elements, these architectural elements, need to be even more cohesive than, say, the dining chair or the artwork, because you don't want to change them out. You want them to have a lot of longevity. You want that backsplash to be something you enjoy for the next 10 to 15 years. You want to make sure you have a lot of clarity on the style you're going for, something that will be cohesive with what's already architecturally happening in the space. So we know that we have like a shaker style cabinet that has some ornate detailing. That definitely feels transitional because of the sort of curving lines of that inset frame. So I would say right now your cabinetry is leaning towards transitional, but the hardware is definitely contemporary because of its clean lines. The pendants are contemporary to super modern. They're those glass tubes that have the elongated bulb inside. Right now, we're a little bit of a hot mess with our style. And I want you to get more specific before you make even one additional choice. Please take my advice, Rebecca. Please listen to a couple more episodes, pick your phrase, and then pick your hardware and backsplash. A big thank you to Aton and the Embassy, who wrote our theme song. A shout out to Catherine Heller, who owns the podcast shop and is our editor extraordinaire. We also want to thank Ginny Sunasan and her team at the Savvy Podcast Agency for their help with our social, our YouTube channel, and so much more. We also want to thank Uploft, which is our parent company who supports this podcast. And lastly, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your support.